Good morning, participants, friends, and professional colleagues. This is really a privilege welcoming us to our IFRS 16 webinar on Aaro, presented by Pierre Consulting. And we also have our partner, Aaro, as part of the panelists. We implore you to pay attention during the presentation. And as the presentation goes along, please, you can type in your question in the chat box or the question, the Q&A. We'll attempt to answer some of the questions during the presentation. And after the presentation, we'll be able to take some other questions. So we implore you to pay more than usual attention as the presentation starts. On call this morning is the managing consultant of Pierre Consulting. She will be the one on the call and be able to take us through IFRS 16 and how Aaro cater for it, not just for the financial reporting as a financial reporting solution, whether on Ifrs or Ifrs, but also more importantly, specifically on IFRS 16. Her name is Lois Akinomi, and she will start the presentation shortly. Lois, over to you.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm excited to show you a world-class software called Aaro, and I'm going to focus on the Aaro Lease IFRS 16. So for us to start, I'm going to switch off my video and then share my screen. Yes, I assume you can see my screen now. Okay, for us to start, I'm going to have this slide come up now. Okay, so you can see here from the slide that Aaro is a software, or even better put, a solution that helps you in group reporting. So first, I would like to draw your attention to the difference between Aaro and your ERP. Aaro does not replace your ERP because your ERP provides the input for Aaro solutions to work. So when you have the ERPs in your system, it does not negate the need for your Aaro software. And when we talk about group reporting, we are not limited to just consolidation. We are talking about everything in terms of group accounting, statutory reporting, management reporting, disclosure management, and compliance. What is the goal of Aaro over the decades it has been operating? Simple: to make your group reporting process easier, faster, and more transparent. And this has been possible because it is coming from a part of the world where, when it comes to group accounting and international organizations, it's a very mature market. So right from the point of inception, Aaro, the company, and the software have been into group accounting. And because of it, they have gathered a lot of experience over the decades. Now, what do they have to offer you? Aaro globally can boast of 34 years doing group reporting. Both for your IFRS and for your Ifrs, this is where to come to. For your statutory reporting, for your management reporting, you don't need to go beyond this software. For your disclosure management and compliance, for your group accounting in case you have subsidiaries. You don't need to go beyond the software. So Aaro has experience that can give you peace of mind that yes, you have come to the best place. And that is why we in Pierre Consulting are excited to have this partnership with them and to bring this software to the Nigerian markets. You can see here that Nigerian users would not be new users. Why? Because this is a global spread of the users of Aaro solution. Organizations spread out all over the world in various countries. How scalable is Aaro software? Aaro software allows you to work with it whether or not you have subsidiaries. So even here, you are seeing 2 to 500 plus, but you can even be assured that if you have 0 subsidiaries, you can still use Aaro. And with regards to this Aaro lease IFRS system solution, we have a lot of stable companies that are using it. In other words, you do not need to be a group company to get Aaro lease IFRS system. As long as you have contracts in your organization that you need to report according to the IFRS system standard, you can use Aaro and you should use Aaro. These are examples of standards that Aaro allows you to comply with. Even though it's not mentioned here, but the EFFECIENTLY for public sector is also very useful for you when you are using Aaro. It will allow you to comply with whatever standard depending on the sector that you belong to. How quick is it to implement Aaro? Oh, very fast. The standard Aaro solution, within 2 to 3 months, they are done. However, the Aaro lease solution for IFRS system is even shorter. You get to see how short it is. Now, if you're implementing, you have 2 options. You can either implement on the cloud, in which case it becomes software as a service, or you can implement on your on-premise, which means you install it on your server and set it up and have control over it. Either ways, it gives you the same user-friendly, adaptable, and fully functional service. And you do not need to depend on consultants once it has been installed. You and your colleagues can create your own reports and dashboards and easily share them. For Aaro to be able to give you all this value, it is because it has under its belt a lot of things working for it successfully. First is the Aaro Academy. The beauty of the Aaro Academy is that it takes us to every knowledge area when it comes to group accounting, closing processes, and IFRS. So when you have Aaro, you do not need to look beyond Aaro Academy to equip your department and your team in being relevant in the industry, to know what is the latest out there, what area of knowledge do they need to refresh themselves on. They will remain competent because Aaro Academy gives you both the theoretical side of group accounting and IFRS standards and the technology side by training you on how to use the software in different areas. Aside from the Aaro Academy, in conjunction with Pierre Consulting, you can also have physical classroom trainings where we come to train you in your office physically as opposed to the online option. In addition to this, Aaro provides you with a state-of-the-art software. How efficient is this software? It ensures that your closing process is seamless. And because it is fast to implement within a short while, it's easy to use. It's not a complex ERP system where you need to do a lot of setups. No, it's a plug and play solution. Once you buy Aaro the solution, you can just set it up within 2 to 3 months and then start using it. All the logic needed to perform your reports, whether your management reports or your statutory reports, is already there. All the consolidations, if you have a subsidiary, is already there. So you don't need to worry about it. And the reports that are generated are not, you don't need an expert to come to predefine it. You on your own as you work can intuitively create reports that appeal to you and save it for future use. Aside from the software, you have professionals in the organization that are there to work with you when it comes to the challenges of the closing process. Yes, closing process are usually very overwhelming because you have to deal with issues of staff absenteeism, they're on leave, you don't have the required skill, or it could be that there are new standards you have to adopt and it has increased the workload. Whatever it is, the professionals in Aaro are your partner in helping to make the closing process a seamless one. And then there is the support system. 24 hours, 7 days, we have an online support system where each case is managed through chat with the technicians, accountants, and experts ready to provide a solution to it. And everybody is monitoring it until the case is closed. Now, this value is what this set of companies are enjoying. This is just a small subset of the Aaro users. We have a lot of people using Aaro in the international space, and we're excited to bring it to Nigeria and have a lot of people in Nigeria joining the success wagon. Do you notice here that the organizations span different industries and they are of different sizes? So you see, when it comes to using Aaro, do not think that you are a small business, it does not apply to you. It does. You can create a lot of value. Or you're a global multinational and Aaro is too small for you. No way. No matter how large you are, no matter how small you are, you can find your own flavor of the Aaro solution. But then let's focus on Aaro IFRS system, which is the focus for today. Aaro IFRS system is our own developed software solution for calculating, monitoring, as well as following up the effects of IFRS system. Now, earlier I had talked about the Aaro solution. You can choose to purchase the Aaro solution as a whole, and then with it comes the IFRS system value. Or you can choose to start with purchasing the Aaro IFRS system solution, which is a smaller one. And then in future, when you see how much value you are getting, you decide to expand and get the other. Either way, it works for us. Now, what do you get when you buy Aaro lease IFRS system? First, you get a lease register where you can capture all your contracts, be it the standard IFRS system contracts, the low value contracts, and the short-term leases. These low value and short-term leases, they are still relevant for disclosure purposes, even though they don't form part of the standard IFRS system reporting. Now, when you enter those information in the lease register, automatically, Aaro calculates the necessary values for you in terms of the NPV, the net present value, in terms of the right of use assets, in terms of the lease liabilities, in terms of the depreciation. So you don't have to worry your head over what is now the figure for these items. No. In fact, you will notice as I show you the software side, yes, I'm going to show you the software side. You will notice that as you are entering the necessary figures, it's already calculating it for you on the fly. Now, when you are done with it, a short consolidation is done and the figures are ready for you so that you can go ahead and analyze it. Another value you get from getting the Aaro lease IFRS system is the disclosure management. You see, when you buy Aaro lease IFRS system, the base package comes with a selection of reports that you need for compliance. And the beauty is that it doesn't restrict you to those default reports. You can easily create others by yourself. And I will show you how you can do it in the course of your analysis of the existing reports, how you can create additional ones. The software itself is fully web-based, and you don't need to install clients, you don't need to install software, so you can access it directly on the browser, whatever one is you are using. Another beauty is that Aaro Solutions has a powerful reporting engine that is not limited because you purchase just the Aaro lease IFRS system. In other words, whether you choose to go ahead and buy the full Aaro software or you decide to start with the Aaro lease IFRS system software, you still get a fully functional reporting engine that creates the value for you. So in terms of functionality, in terms of speed of processing, you don't get less just because you are getting the Aaro lease IFRS system. And remember, we said it earlier, you have two options for installation, whether you want the cloud option, which is the software as a service, or you want it to be on your server premise. Let's talk more about the features of Aaro IFRS system. We talked about the full disclosure management. Yes, as a matter of fact, you are able to display it with any reporting currency. So if, for instance, you are not just a company, but you are part of a group, you can decide on which group consolidates, what currency do you consolidate on, the local currency, what will it be? And as you analyze your report and display your reports, I will show you how you can choose the different currencies you want to display your reports on. It's fully flexible. In addition, if you buy the full Aaro solution, once you prepare your IRA, once you are reviewing your IFRS system, it automatically links you to your set of financial statements, your balance sheet, your cash flow, your equity, and your P&L. However, remember we said you can choose not to get the full solution and you want to stick with the Aaro lease solution. When you choose that option, then you can extract the data you have gotten after your IFRS system adjustments and export it to your own existing reporting solution or to your ERP for further analysis. And yes, I'll show you a template that makes the process of export smoother. Then we also allow for multi-currency, and then you can report on both the standard leases and in addition the short-term and the low value. So at the end of the day, we allow you to be fully compliant in terms of all the necessary disclosures. In addition, we capture even the non-financial data. So at the end of the day, Aaro does not just give you or restrict you to the financial data. No, it allows you to put into each contract information or lease information the financial and the non-financial, so that at the end of the day, you can have a complete picture for traceability and transparency. When it comes to the payments, in Aaro, it allows you to add periodic payment plans, and it allows you to be flexible in adjusting the contract as the months or the years progress. So, in essence, we are saying that in the same contract, you can remeasure the contract, you can revise the contract, you can change the dates. And guess what? As you are making these changes, an audit trail is being created that tracks the history, so that at the end of the day, it allows for traceability and transparency. What are examples of changes you might want to make? If you choose to change the tax rates, it could be that the payment needs to be lengthened. So many issues can come up, or so many necessary changes could come up. Now, on the right side here, remember we said earlier that once you populate your lease register, automatically Aaro starts calculating the values for you in terms of your contract. So you have here the automatic calculations that are done. You don't have to worry your head about the calculation. Once you populate the Aaro IFRS lease solution with the necessary information, all these are calculated for you and displayed for you in your report. Remember, we said that the standard Aaro solution takes between 2 to 3 months. Guess what? The Aaro IFRS system solution takes less than a month, just 3 weeks. Yes, in the first week, we plan the project, we set up the data slot, and you go through the design of the software, agree on how it should be. In the second week, we configure the software according to the design that had been set in the first week. And then we schedule training sessions for you so that you can get familiar with the system. And then the third week, we onboard. And then if there's any supplementary configurations, this is when we do it. What are examples of such supplementary configurations? One is this. Our base package for IFRS system comes with 4 asset classes. That's building, equipment, machinery, and vehicle. However, in your own company, you might have additional asset classes. It is in this third week that we make those changes to accommodate your own additional asset classes. Now, once we are done in the third week, we hand over to you and the project closes. So from that point on, you will start populating Aaro IFRS system solution with your contract information and get to see it seamlessly prepare the reports for you. And if you have so many contracts already existing in your company, you don't have to do a manual import. I will show you in the software side, which is the next stage we are going to now. I will show you the stuff on the software side, how you can import all your contracts in at a go. So enough about the introduction. Let's delve into the software. Remember we said it's a web-based. So usually it comes with logging in. And you can see here the language, you can change it. Now, when it comes to logging in, you actually can tie this to your Active Directory such that once you log into your machine, you don't need to log into Aaro because both of them are now together, like a single sign-on. What do we see immediately we open up this? We see a start dashboard here. And the start dashboard has for us a calendar, a workflow section, a favorites at the top right, and the news section. In the calendar, all the necessary activities that you'll need to carry out within a month is there. And of course, you can move backwards and you can move forward. So by default, it opens up to the current month. And then when you click on a workflow, it specifies in this section the necessary activities you need to do within a period of time. And here it tracks your progress. So this helps you to stay organized and focused, and it helps the manager of the team to ensure that everybody is doing what they need to do at the right time. So from the word go, the closing process is not left till the very end. You can start managing the process right from the beginning. On the top right here, you have your favorite section where you put in the reports you know you need on a regular basis. And at the bottom here, you have your news, where any necessary information that needs to be shared with the team, this is where you find it. Even though this is the default opening, you can create other dashboards for yourself. And for the purpose of this webinar, we have 3 dashboards in relation to IFRS system I would like to show you. The first is your IFRS 16 analysis. In your IFRS system analysis, we have here a set of reports that are important for analyzing your IFRS system data. So at this point, you have created your contracts, you have entered the necessary information in the use register, the calculations have been done automatically, reports have been created, and these are the reports displayed on a dashboard. Let's look at some of these reports. On the left-hand side here, we have the income statements. This income statement displays information for the items without excluding your IFRS system, and then it also has the IFRS system adjustments that have been derived from the contract calculation. And then this third field here is a combined figure for these two. Now you have this because you have an Aaro solution, or rather, I have an Aaro solution in addition to the Aaro lease. So that's why I can see figures for even my Aaro solution that is not limited to my lease. Later, I'll show you how the interface would look, assuming you did not purchase the Aaro solution and you just stayed with the Aaro lease IFRS 10 solution. In the middle here, we have two reports. One is showing the retired contracts, for the year. And this one is showing the new contracts. And you can see here, it's displayed in the Nigerian Naira. So you can control the currency here, depending on the currencies you'll be needing. And here you can choose the currency. Once you pick a currency, automatically it changes to reflect the new currency you want displayed here. On the right-hand side, we see a balance sheet report where we can see the IFRS 16 adjustment in the middle here. And you can see the normal reporting figures here on the left, which is the excluding 16 column. And then you can see the total IFRS on the right-hand side here. Down to the left here, we can see the payment plan for different categories, as well as the different legal entities. So you always have control of the payments regarding the contracts. Another dashboard I would like to show you is the IFRS 16 disclosures. This dashboard shows all the different disclosures that are mandatory to report to financial authorities. So on the left here, first you'll see an introductory note that mentions the objective of the disclosures and the items that are going to be addressed. Then here we have the lease commitment standard. These are the undiscounted net payments of the leasing in different asset classes, as well as the payment commitments. Underneath, we have the low value as well as the short-term contract here. And these are, of course, important for the disclosure notice that needs to be reported on. On the right-hand side here, we have also gathered the mandatory IFRS 16 income statement accounts. And then we have also taken on the low value and the short-term leases here. And then the last item here is the cash flow disclosure. So these are some of the reports that are created once you populate your Aaro IFRS 16 solution with the necessary details. And this you need to comply with your IFRS 16. Now, the last dashboard I'll show you is your IFRS 16 charts. This shows the development of the leases throughout the years. And in this case, we're using 2017 to 2021. So here, the first report here, it shows us the right of use assets and how it develops from year to year. You can see with regards to your machinery that it started with 3 million euros. And then it increased to 3.8 million euros. But by the third year, it fell to 2.7 euros and down to the last year. Underneath here, we have the lease interest paid. Here, we have the lease interest paid, where we can see how much we have paid in euros for each year. Then on the right-hand side here, we can also see the lease payments. This is how much we have actually paid for the leasing contracts. And then at the top here, we see the accumulated lease earnings starting from December 2017 all the way to December 2021. And you'll notice it's an inverted bar because it's actually a negative figure. So the dashboards, they are a great tool to continue working and to continue, for you to review the work done. The dashboards are a great tool. However, for you to be able to create more value, you need to go outside the dashboard for your analysis. For example, if I take you back to the IFRS system and one of the contracts, I can decide to look at more details with regards to it. So I can take the balance sheet and go to reports. So now we are in a different section of the interface of the Aaro solution, and that is the report section. And in this section, it creates more opportunities for you to analyze your reports, for you to make changes to your report, for you to create new reports. Remember, I told you earlier that you are able to see the non-IFRS figures in addition to the non-IFRS 16 figures in addition to the IFRS 16 figures, because what I have is the Aaro full solution. But what if you decide to get the Aaro lead solution, the IFRS 16 alone as a starter? This is how it will be. I will need to take out, so I'll switch to the editing mode because I will need to take out the fields that come with the Aaro solution, which is this item and the combined Aaro. Okay. And then I will switch back to the view mode and then run the report. Now, what we see here is this is how your reports will be displayed once you are getting the IFRS 16 solution alone. So you can see a single column. Now, I can go further to review these reports and find out more information. For instance, I'm interested in land and building. I want to know which companies have improved leases in land and building. I have two options here. I can choose to drill down and I can choose to expand. If I choose a drill down, it will take me out of this report to a new report entirely where I can now choose to save it going forward. But if I stay on expand, it will give me the details I'm requesting for right on this same report without moving. So for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to choose expand. Remember, we want to see which companies have the land and buildings lease active. So here it's displayed. We're still on the same report, but it has expanded the details for land and building. And at a glance, we can see that most of the land and building lease is with Leasing Incorporated. The company that has most of it is Leasing Incorporated because out of 310 million naira, it has 290 million. So I'm curious. I want to know what are the contracts that are with this Leasing Incorporated. What are their names? I need more details. So I still go ahead to expand. And this time around, I want to know the contract name. Good. So you can see it has further expanded my Leasing Incorporated, and it has given me a detailed list of all the contracts that are active for Leasing Incorporated that make up the 290 million. So, and you can go on and on, expanding, asking questions, and getting your answers immediately in Aaro without a hectic process at all. And once you are happy with what you have and you feel that it's something you can retain for future use, then you can go ahead and save this report. So notice here that as I was analyzing my data, time tabs were being created, and each of these time tabs are the different analysis I did on this report. It keeps it there in case I'm interested in referring back to it now, or in case I want to save it for future use. So that way, you don't have to worry yourself on trying to remember the process it took you to get a report. Once you've gotten it right the first time, you just go to the time tab that has the actual information you want, and then to save it. Now, once you are in the report section, you can review so many different reports there. For instance, let's look at the income statement IFRS effects. Just like we had for the balance sheet, we also can make changes to this, reflect just the IFRS 16 column. To do that, as usual, you switch to the edit mode, you get to the filter, take out the columns you don't want to see, click OK, and then switch back to the view mode and run your report. Good. So now we have only the IFRS 16 column displayed in this report. I can choose to perform further analysis on this. For instance, I want to see how much of this depreciation of 150 million naira, how much of this is on the different contracts on the IFRS 16 data. And I also want to see it on company level. So I will click on it. And this time I want to show you how the drill down works. So I'll choose drill down, basic, company. So these are all the companies that have incurred depreciation on their leases. And just like Leasing Incorporated had most of it in terms of the land and building, this also is the same here in the expense side. So you can, at the end of the day, confirm the validity of the data you see in your system. You can confirm that, yes, it's accurate. But what if you now want to know what are the contracts that have this leasing expense? And expand IFRS 16 for contract name. And then you notice that it is similar to the contracts that were displayed in the land and building side of Leasing Incorporated. So you can use this to confirm that, yes, the data can be trusted. So notice that when I click on my drill down or my expand, it comes with parameters. I only tested one in each section. You will see here that there are so many. So you can choose to view your data and your reports in different ways as you so desire. And at the end of the day, it will help you to cater to the needs of management and of the different levels of management, knowing what they want to see and giving them this same report in the way they would like to see it, without you needing to call your consultants again, because you have yourself can do it. It's very easy. Now, if you want to have a comprehensive view of all the contracts, here in the IFRS 16 folder, we have a subfolder called reports, and inside you have this all contracts. So the all contracts report, which is still loading, shows all the active contracts for a given period. And there you can see all the bookings done in the system for the contracts. Okay, it's taking a while to load. See, this pattern is not usually this way. It's usually very quick. Okay, it's a network issue. Okay. Right. Let's try again. Close this tab. Okay. So remember, because it's web-based, sometimes you might have this issue if your internet is having problem. Okay, so I will take you back to it later. Let's move on to other items. Remember, we said that you might have your own reporting solution, and that your own reporting solution might be okay for you now. So in cases like that, if you have worked on your leases and you need to export it, then this is the template we use. Okay, now please give me a minute. Oh, very good. It's here now. This is your lease exports. These are all the contracts that you have worked on in your Aaro lease IFRS 16. Now, what is the relevance of this? This provides a standard template for exporting your lease data to your ERP or your consolidation software. Now, this template can be modified in order to fit your needs. So this allows you to, in case you are not ready yet to get the full Aaro solution, you just want to start with your Aaro lease IFRS system. Then you use this to export to the solution you are currently using when you are done with your Aaro lease competition. Now, the all contracts, now that the network is okay, let's see if we can still get our contracts displayed that has a comprehensive contracts. But if not, oh, beautiful. Now we have it. So these are all the standard contracts that are displayed in terms of the active contracts within a period. You can see all the bookings done in the system for the contracts. Okay. So now, this is the report side and it allows for analysis. But what if you want to know more about specific contracts and you want to access the database? Yes, you can do that. So I will take you to the database for lease contracts. Now, so for instance, if I want to see more details about a specific contract, it takes me to this, filters out the contract I want to see, and gives me all the necessary information. Like you can see here, I am getting to know the period when the contract was created, the company, the measurement date. So in this case, the date was, there were changes made and it tracks it. The contract opening start date, the end date, the depreciation, the present value, everything about this contract. But let's now see, what if we want to see everything without limiting ourselves to this specific contract? So I'm going to take out the contract name, remove the filter, good. So now I'm seeing here the first 20 of a total of 122 contracts. Let me zoom in so you can see it better. Good. So now you can see 122 contracts are here. Did you notice that my contracts, all of them that I've ever created are here, whether they are expired or active? So that's how it works in Aaro lease IFRS. Aaro doesn't delete the contracts just because they have expired. It's still there for easy reference, because something might need you to refer to it and you have to start looking for it. No, you don't have to start looking for it. It will always be here. Now, if I want to create a new contract, I have two options. I can create it one after the other, in which case I'll call up this create new contract. Or if I have, when you buy Aaro lease, you already have contracts. Likely, you already have your contracts, your leases active. So instead of entering it manually one after the other, we have an import option where through Excel, you can import it and everything is in at the same time. But let me show you how to create a new contract. So here you have the new create new contracts, and here it starts with the year. Yes, so usually I'm meant to choose a period, but by default, it picks a period from where I'm standing on. And in this case, it's March 2019, my actual figures. Then I need to choose a company. So I'm going to pick Gothenburg. And then the contract type, I also need to choose it. And remember, I told you before that standard contracts are from where the IFRS system data is derived. However, the low value and the short-term contracts are there for disclosure note purposes, but it will not affect the IFRS 16 calculations. Then I'm going to pick the standard. Now, then we have the leasing classes. Remember, I mentioned earlier that the base package comes with 4 leasing classes, which is the building, the machinery, equipment, and vehicle. So remember, this list can be more. On the 3rd week of implementation, we can add the other ones we have. So for the purpose of this exercise, I'll pick the building, and then the contract name, give it Lagos 001. Okay. Now, when I press OK, I get the standard leasing contract template. And from here, I have a bunch of possibilities. Remember, we said earlier that part of the solution you get is it allows you to have both financial data and non-financial data. On the right here is where you enter the non-financial data. And the interesting part is that whatever information you enter on this side becomes like a parameter that you can use for filtering out information and preparing your report. So here I can enter description, the references, a reminder, the contract, index. And then I can add the operational structure here by selecting the business units. So in this case, I'm going to pick finance. And then I have the possibility to share this function within the operational dimension. In this case, I'll use sale and give it 100% share. I press add and OK. Now the contract has been saved underneath company Gothenburg within operational dimension in finance and the function sale. On the left-hand side, we have the leasing liability. From the leasing liability, all of the contract calculations are obtained. So in this case, I will have a commencement date here, which has been provided by default 2019 January 1. I also need to add the original end date. In this case, I'll assume 2025 December 31. As soon as I press this, we can see that 0 start to pop up here. So automatic calculations. You don't have to do any calculations yourself. Automatic. I can choose to enter optional contract date, but it is where the radio button that is active, that is the one that will be relevant for the purpose of the calculations. Now I'm going to enter my depreciation end date, and usually for a linear depreciation over the contract terms, it will match the contract end date, which is December 31. You can also see here we have the optional, the revised depreciation end date, so it allows for flexibility. Now, we want to enter the payment plan. We can choose to have a periodic payment plan. And here we can choose to make it monthly, quarterly, yearly, biannual, bi-monthly. Depends on what we want. So here I'm going to pick monthly. We can choose the start date if we want to use the relative loss date. And we can also add the gross payments and discounts. So here, for the purpose of this, I'm going to assume my contract's gross payment is 10,000. And then I have a discount of 5,000 that will run for the first half of the year. And with this, I'll save. Now, what you will notice is my payment amount will automatically reflect the net figure between my gross and my discount. Now, after the first 6 months of the life of this contract, I need to revert back to full payment. So I'll come back and add another periodic schedule. And this time around, it's going to start from July the 1st. And I'll take out the discount because it's no more applicable. and then I'll stay. Now notice this, here the payment amount is now 10,000. And if you preview the payment, you can see it gives you a detailed payment plan where the first 6 months, there will be a discount, and subsequently till the end of the life of this contract, no discount. So at the end of the day, it will calculate for you the net present value, the total discount, and the total gross. And I'll click OK. Do you notice that immediately the zeros have started changing because we have started entering information? Then I need to add an interest rate. I have 3 options. The first is I can enter an interest rate manually here. The second option is I can allow the system to calculate it for me. And that is where you have implicit rate. So once I populate it with these figures, it will calculate it for me. Or I can choose to have a predefined set of rates that has been determined by the market. So in this case, we have 2 predefined ones. We have the Scandinavia long leases, which is 3.3, and Scandinavia short leases, which is 4.1. I'm going to take the 4.1% and then add and click OK. What do you notice? The present value is now calculated, and you can see the figure here. So these are all the mandatory information that you need. In case you want the restoration cost, you have the possibility to add it here, as well as adding an interest rate. You can do adjustments here to the right of use asset in case you have made an initial prepayment amount, or in case you need to do changes through income statement or equity. You can also add deferred tax rate. And down here, you can do adjustments in case you need to make more adjustments on the balance sheet or your income statement accounts. So when you are done, you press save and the contract will automatically be consolidated. And that is when you now have your reports prepared for you, which we earlier reviewed in the analysis. There are times you might need to do modifications on this contract. So for instance, if you open a contract, you might want to do some modifications here. So you can see here, if you want to do modification, you have your remeasurement date. You can change the payment plan. You will enter the date when you did a change in the depreciation. And then you have a remeasurement box. All these changes and adjustments, once you make it, remember, it is being tracked. So the audit trail will be populated for you to refer to. It will tell you the original contract version, which you can always revert back. And then you also have attachments. You can write comments, you can make attachments, you can even upload the contract as a PDF in order to have full traceability and full control of the audit trail. So this is how our release works. And from here, all of the contract values will be calculated in the report, as well as that dashboard that you connected to when we earlier reviewed the dashboard. So I'm going to take you back to the slide. In summary, what have we said? We are saying that your IFRS 16 is a highly relevant solution for you if you have leases. And because Aaro solution gives you this, you are giving the best. Why? Because this is an organization that even before the IFRS 16 came, they have gathered a wealth of experience delivering IFRS compliance solution. And the flexibility in terms of installation is beautiful, and it is reliable, it is secure. We provide built-in reports that helps in simplifying your disclosure management, and we allow you to integrate with Microsoft Office. Even if you choose not to get our Aaro full solution, it allows you to integrate with your own reporting solution and even with your ERP. So remember, this is not replacing your ERP. And then we have a dedicated support. We're always here for you. And the implementation is very fast. Even your contracts, you don't need to upload it manually. You can import it. So for you to take your decision, I would like you to consider 4 areas. First is the functionality. Aaro is a fully functional software, and Aaro Lease IFRS system is the newest member of the Aaro family. So immediately this IFRS system was released, Aaro company added it to the list of solutions that allows you to be compliant. It has a lot of functionality, and it allows you to do so much with so little effort. Once you have your lease register, you can manage all your disclosures. The workflow is one that helps you comply with the IFRS system process. Your automatic calculations, you don't have to worry about it. And then your report engine is fully functional. And all of this functionality is from day one. Then in terms of experience, Aaro Lease IFRS system is a policy solution because the IFRS system standard is complex and is new to everybody. So Aaro company was very proactive in implementing it and introducing its first version in 2018. And since then, they have implemented it many times for many customers and improved on the functionality. So you are looking at an Aaro Lease solution that is very stable and accurate. The fact that it is a standalone module gives you a reliable and robust platform. So you don't even need to buy the whole set of the Aaro solution for management reporting and statistics and group accounting and statistical reporting. No, you can just focus on this. And when you see how beautiful Aaro is, you can expand. Now, what is the cost involved in terms of time, in terms of resources you have to give? It is very cost effective. You have seen it. It's just within 3 weeks and you are ready to use the software. And even when you start using it, you can manage it yourself. You're in control. You don't have to keep calling the consultant because you don't know what to do. You will know what to do because the software itself is ready to use and very user-friendly. And yes, I know you'll be interested in the figures, and that is a conversation we're happy to have with you one-on-one. But I can assure you this, Aaro has an attractive price model. It's something you can afford, whatever size of company. And then what about the future? Yes, Aaro as a company is 33 years old. Right from year 0, they have been into group accounting and reporting and management reporting. So they have a wealth of experience and they are not going to leave you. Why? Because whether you start off as a company without a subsidiary and you want to expand, Aaro will always be the relevant solution for you. And just like they were proactive with releasing the solution for IFRS 16 list, if there are any ones in the future you need to comply it, you don't need to worry because Aaro will be there, alert and ready to provide you the solution. So at the end of the day, it is a relationship that is going to last forever. So remember, for us to do this, this is what you get when you buy this software. You get an academy, you get the software, you get the professionals, and you get a support system. At the end of the day, both group reporting, compliance with all standards, both the ones now and the ones in future, is something we have a target of making it in non-events. Thank you very much for the time spent with you on this webinar. I'm going to hand over to Peter now, and he's going to take all your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lois, for that beautiful presentation. You've taken us through Aaro IFRS 16 and how Aaro cater for IFRS 16. Once again, we appreciate your presentation, and we also appreciate the attendees on this call for paying rapt attention during the presentation. Pierre Consulting is the distributor for Aaro within the Nigerian market. And for those of our participants that we know are external auditors to corporate organization, you can recommend this solution to your client. And you can reach us also for more clarity where there is need for it. Lois did mention that it's not only IFRS alone, but IFRS. So for those also in public sector who we know are on this call, we have Aaro system catering for public sector too. So we have IFRS, we have IFRS, and then every client, big or small, can indeed catered for. She mentioned the Aaro Academy, which has been there and has trained quite a lot of accountant auditors in IFRS, IFRS globally, which you can also avail yourself the opportunity of engaging that, of having that training. That way, you not only know what IFRS is all about or IFRS, but you'll be updating your knowledge because it's a live thing and education is a continuum. So, of course, okay, I'm having a question here. All right, Dr. Abuchi would like to know the cost. Of course, the cost, we can always discuss the costs with you based on your client's needs. The questionnaire, I know, is an auditor. So we can always reach out to you, sir, and discuss what the cost is like. But like Lois did mention during our presentation, the cost is user-friendly and all right. And then we are able to take care, that is user-friendly and it's scalable depending on the needs of the prospect or the client, such that the clients can easily come on board easily, and then cater for all your disclosures requirements, whether on IFRS or IFRS as a case may be. So we're trying to also make sure that we get across to all of us much better. So a couple of developments we've had within Pierre Consulting, we have a Telegram channel. We have a YouTube channel now. Okay. You have a participant, Dr. Agugu. Please, you have the floor. You can raise your question, sir. Go ahead and you can go ahead and talk, sir.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Good morning, sir.
I want to appreciate Pierre Consulting for the good job, and we are happy for the solutions that they are making available to the practitioners in most especially. And as you said, that is cost is pocket friendly. We would like to have that as the next point of contact, possibly to negotiate how one can get these solutions to deploy them to our professional practices. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Abuchi, you have the floor. Dr. Abuchi, sir. You can unmute yourself.
I thought I did.
Okay, sir.
Can you hear, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, madam.
Okay, sir. I'm talking from Dr. Abuchi's family.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, I'm understanding that the ERP has not, I mean, what is it again? The Aaro, IFRS 16 has not come to replace ERP. Am I right?
What was said, excuse me, let me take that again.
Yes.
Our clients may have accounting package, may have ERP systems in place.
Yes. Yes.
Now, you know that they need to report either on IFRS, depending whether they are corporate organizations in the public, in the private sector, or IFRS in the public sector. Now, where the ERP stops, or where the accounting package stops, is where Aaro begins.
Okay, I get it.
So whatever accounting package or ERP they have in-house, you are not pitching that, replace this ERP. No.
Yes.
The ERP is there, but the challenge is now, how do we prepare financial statement in line with IFRS or in line with IFRS? That is the yoke, the main challenge. IFRS 16 is part of what they need to report on. So you may have clients that IFRS 16 is a challenge. So in the presentation, we have said that they don't even have to buy the entire Aaro suite of product. They can buy Aaro IFRS 16 that addresses that specific need for them. So if they buy IFRS 16 and they are able to cater for IFRS 16 in line with IFRS 16, then if they still want to have the Aaro full set of solution for financial reporting purpose, they can still go ahead. And if they don't want that, they just want to comply with IFRS 16, they are good to go. So specifically, your ERP or accounting package is not thrown out of the window.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. And thank you very much for the opportunity to further clarify. So it's been an hour plus now, and we plan to have an hour presentation that will include question and answer. One thing we can assure you is that these kind of webinars, as we started it late last year, and it's been on varied topics, not on Aaro alone, but some other topics. And it will be a continuum. We plan to make it continuum so as to showcase the best in practice suite of solutions that auditors and accountants can use. Many of you on this call, we are familiar with you, and you are also familiar with us. Whatever challenge or challenges you want to address in catering and assisting your client, please, we're just a call away, a telegram away, a WhatsApp away, a phone call away, an email away. Whichever of this medium, we are easily accessible. And we love to speak with you. We love to talk to you, and we love to provide solutions so that together we all can succeed. You can give the best of service to your clients can be happy, and we are also happy to be in this space supporting firms and corporate organizations and public sector organizations in their service delivery. We want to thank you once again for this opportunity to be here, and we appreciate your rapt attention, and we also appreciate your giving, your asking questions, which allows us to make more clarification. Subsequent webinars will also be announced in due course. Hopefully by next week, you get the invite. Dr. My AG, you're allowed to talk, please.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
All right. All right. It's okay. Thank you, sir. All right. So subsequent webinars will be announced so that we can join and we can also we can engage you for that. So we want to appreciate you once again and thank you very much for being in attendance. Bye for now.